It's Friday, and you know what that means. It's time for your weekly edition of Travel Grunt. I'm your host, Zac Wilson, and I need a vacation. First up on the pad of power this week in travel news, France will begin lifting restrictions for vaccinated travelers this May and for U.S. citizens this summer. So if you have your COVID-19 vaccine, go ahead and go visit France. It's time to go back to Paris. Paris. Also, Greece has lifted quarantine requirements for vaccinated travelers. So whether you want to take a land-based vacation or even, believe it or not, a cruise through the Greek islands, there are several cruise lines that are sailing over there this summer and fall. Now this one's a very interesting one. Uniworld, which is a boutique river cruise company, has decided in 2022 to host their very first mystery cruise. Now this is not like a mystery dinner, who killed who kind of thing like playing. No. Mystery cruise. Imagine this. Starting at $6,999 per person, that does include airfare. And the price can go up depending on what kind of room you want, or if you want a suite or any additional extra add-ons. You get to go on a mystery cruise. Now here's the deal. Until you get to the airport, you have no idea what this cruise is going to be. Yes, you get your flights. Yes, we know it's in Europe. We don't know what river or rivers. We don't know what cities and towns. We don't know what shore excursions. We don't know what the wines are going to be paired with the cuisines that are going to... We know nothing. It's very exciting. Imagine that. All the stress of planning completely taken out of your hands. You just have to go and experience whatever the mystery is. I'm curious to know how many of you would enjoy doing a river cruise like that, so go ahead and leave it in the comments if you think a mystery cruise sounds like an exciting vacation. Also in travel news, Sandals Resorts has announced 3 new resorts in the country of Jamaica, their home country, where they already have a plethora of resorts. So to be adding 3 more is incredible. You could almost say that if you're thinking of all-inclusive and luxury-inclusive in the country of Jamaica, you should definitely go Sandals. Now, I do have some details here. They're transforming some recently acquired properties. The Jewel Duns Rivers Beach Resort and Spa in Ocho Rios, and the Jewel Runaway Beach Resort and Water Park, plus what they call a prime parcel of beachfront land adjacent to the Ocho Rios property. So we definitely want to keep an eye on what's going on in Jamaica with Sandals Resorts, but that brings me to what's next on the pad of power. Hey Zac, what are you daydreaming about? I don't know. What am I daydreaming about? I'm daydreaming about Sandals Resorts in Jamaica. It has been so long since I've been there. This pandemic, I'm telling you, it's keeping us from traveling, folks, and I want to travel again. Now, yes, we can finally return to Jamaica this summer if you'd like to. There are some protocols going down to Jamaica. You will have to take a COVID-19 test, show your negative test result before going. It seems to change a bit. Sometimes it's 3 days, sometimes it's 5 days. It seems like every week the protocols are updating, but you know what? Use a professional travel advisor. They'll help you get through it, no problem. Of course, if you are going into Jamaica, I do encourage you to do the Club MoBay Fast Track service through the customs, and your travel advisor can get you set up with that as well. Now, what's amazing about these resorts, they call them luxury included, and they truly are. This is for someone who really wants a luxury vacation with a beautiful spa, with wonderful restaurants, gourmet 5-star dining, perfect locations on the right beaches. It's just incredible. Now, I will say this. 2 of my favorite things at the Sandals Resorts, whether you're on the 7 Mile Beach in Negril, whether you're at a couple of their resorts in the famous Montego Bay area, if you're over on the east side of the island with Ocho Rios, or my personal favorite down on South Coast. Be looking for a swim-up room. It's pretty awesome to be able to just step out of your room and right into the water, right? Also, I highly encourage you to upgrade to butler service. These butlers are trained in the same schools in England that the top butlers in the world are trained. They are incredible people. And you would think to yourself, well, Zac, I'm not really a butler person. I don't really need that much. I'm not high maintenance. I'm not whatever. Trust me. It will blow your mind. You won't believe it until you experience it. Once you do, you'll never want to go back without your own personal butler. So definitely inquire about the special butler rooms. So, I just want to say that one of the things that I really liked about Sandals in Jamaica is their unique entertainment. Out in Ocho Rios, they actually have the only speakeasy in the island of Jamaica, and it's at the Ocho Rios Sandals Resort. It's called the Rabbit Hole. You have to find it. Just look for what looks like a hobbit hole. It's a round door, right? But you have to know the password. So you've got to find, one of their staff members to clue you in on what the password is, and definitely go there when Big Mama is singing. Her voice is to die for. The jazz music is incredible. It's themed like the 1920s. Even the ice cubes in the drinks are these round sphere ice cubes, not regular cubes. They say, when you drop the ice in, those corners will chip and they melt faster and it waters down your drink. But these round cubes were kind of the innovation of the day. And so they have that. Every detail is accounted for. I encourage you to check out Sandals Resorts. What's next on the Pad of Power? Speaking of Jamaica, it's time for our snout out. That is, of course, the Travel Grunt version of a shout out, where we give a snout out for our favorite places to pig out when we're traveling in destinations. So since we were talking about Sandals Resorts in Jamaica, it just reminded me of one of my favorite treats. Let me see if I can get a picture for you here. The famous Jamaican meat pie. I know it doesn't look like much on my iPhone. I apologize that the lighting isn't perfect. You can Google it on Pinterest. You can even find, okay, so your local grocery store might have their version of a Jamaican meat pie in the frozen section. No. They might even have a recipe for you on Pinterest, but unless you're an amazing chef, no. You need to go to Jamaica, and the first thing you want to do is get a Jamaican meat pie. And when you're coming home, the last thing you want to eat when you leave is a Jamaican meat pie. They are so incredibly good. And I was trying to explain it to a friend the other day, and I said, well, like those hot fried apple pies that you love so much? He's like, oh yeah, I love an apple pie. And I'm like, imagine instead of apples, that it's meat. The most tasty, savory meat you've ever had in your life. Trust me, it is the best. Sandals Resorts, Jamaican meat pie. This is your snout out. Thank you. Next up on the Pad of Power, I do like to end every show with a travel quote, one of inspiration and encouragement. And this one comes from one of my favorite travel books of all time, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And it's simply this: don't panic. It's one of my favorite quotes of all time. This last year, I think we've had a lot of opportunities to panic over a great many things. And I just want to encourage you. This too shall pass. Don't panic. I think we could all use a vacation right about now. Until next time, this has been Travel Grunt, and I'm Zac Wilson.